Imagine this. Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor known for overseeing the trial and crucifixion of Jesus, haunted by regret years later. Sounds surprising, right? But what if I told you there's a story that claims Pilate wrote a letter to Emperor Tiberius, recounting everything from Jesus' miracles to his resurrection? What might Pilate have said about the resurrection of the Son of God? Here's the kicker. This letter supposedly includes unique details about Jesus' appearance that aren't in the Gospels. Some ancient writers believe Pilate sent this report to Rome, which makes sense. After all, Pilate mentioned in the letter that Herod Antipas was bad-mouthing him to Caesar, so he needed to defend his reputation. And really, who wouldn't try to clear their name when the boss is the emperor? Fast forward to AD 138. Justin Martyr, an early Christian writer, referred to Pilate's report in a letter to Emperor Antonius Pius. He wrote, "After he was crucified, those who crucified him cast lots for his garments and divided them to satisfy themselves." Another early Christian, Tertullian, claimed that Tiberius Caesar was so moved by Pilate's account that he even considered adding Jesus to the Roman pantheon of gods. Although we can't confirm that from Roman records, it shows just how seriously early Christians took Pilate's letter. Even Pilate's critics gave the letter weight. In AD 311, Emperor Maximinus created a fake version of the Acts of Pilate to discredit Christianity. Imagine that. A forged document meant to combat the influence of the original. It tells us just how important Pilate's letter was in the Roman world. So, what exactly did Pilate write? Let's dive into it. Here's an excerpt from the letter. Pontius Pilate to the Emperor Tiberius, greetings. Recent events in my province have been so significant that I thought I'd report them to you. These events may well change the destiny of our nation. It seems lately that the gods have turned against us. I almost cursed the day I succeeded Valerius Gratus in governing Judea. Jerusalem, of all conquered cities, is the most difficult to rule. The people are so turbulent that I live in constant fear of an uprising. I had but one centurion and a small group of soldiers. When I asked for reinforcements from the governor of Syria, he replied that he barely had enough to defend his own territory. Our thirst for conquest has overextended our empire and may, I fear, be its undoing. Pause for a second. Pilate's words show just how fragile Roman control was in Jerusalem. With only a handful of troops, he was constantly on edge, fearing rebellion. This pressure may have played a big role in how he handled Jesus' trial. Pilate continues. Among the many rumors that reached me, one in particular caught my attention. It was said that a young man had appeared in Galilee, preaching a new law in the name of the gods. At first, I feared he might incite the people against Rome, but my concerns were quickly dispelled. Jesus of Nazareth spoke more as a friend of the Romans than the Jews. One day, as I passed by the pool of Siloam, I saw a young man addressing a large crowd. He was calm, leaning against a tree. I was told this was Jesus, and I wasn't surprised. He stood out from the crowd, his golden hair and beard giving him a celestial appearance. He seemed to be around 30 years old, and I had never seen a more serene face. What a contrast to the crowd, with their black beards and darker complexions. This description of Jesus is fascinating because it's one of the few we have from historical documents. Pilate describes him with golden hair and a beard, quite different from the typical images we imagine today. Could this have been an embellishment by later scribes? Or did Jesus truly look different from his contemporaries? It's one of those mysteries that's fun to speculate on. The letter goes on. I didn't want to interrupt, so I signaled my secretary, Manlius, to listen. Manlius was an expert in the Hebrew language and very loyal to me. Later he told me what Jesus had said. Render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. It was because of wisdom like this that I allowed Jesus such freedom. I could have had him arrested and sent to Pontus, but that would have been unjust. He was neither rebellious nor seditious. In fact, I protected him, though he may not have known it. But this freedom provoked the wealthy Jews. Jesus was severe with them, calling them a brood of vipers and whitewashed tombs. He even sneered at their public alms, saying, "The widow's mite is more precious to God than your riches." Complaints against him piled up daily, and I was warned that Jerusalem had stoned other so-called prophets in the past. If the praetorium refused justice, they would appeal to Caesar. It's pretty clear Pilate wasn't eager to crucify Jesus. In fact, it seems he admired him, giving him quite a bit of freedom. However, the political pressure from the powerful leaders in Jerusalem forced Pilate into a tough spot, caught between maintaining Roman control and keeping the local elites happy. This inner struggle shows just how complex Pilate's decision-making was in those fateful moments that changed history forever. The Pilate stone, also called the Pilate inscription, is a fascinating piece of history discovered in 1961 near Caesarea Maritima, Israel. It's a limestone block with a dedication carved into it, and here's why it's so important. It provides solid archaeological proof that Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor who oversaw Jesus' trial, was a real historical figure. Pretty cool, right? The inscription reads, "To the divine Augusti, this Tiberium, Pontius Pilate, prefect of Judea," which is essentially Pilate giving a shout-out to Emperor Tiberius, mentioning his title as the prefect or governor of Judea. Caesarea Maritima, where this stone was found, was a bustling Roman city along Israel's Mediterranean coast. The stone had actually been reused in a staircase leading to a theater. Imagine archaeologists' excitement when they uncovered the Latin inscription on it, linking it directly to one of the most pivotal figures in the New Testament. What makes the Pilate stone so special is that it's the only piece of physical evidence from Pilate's time that confirms he held power in Judea during Jesus' life. Along with ancient texts like the Acts of Pilate, this stone helps paint a clearer picture of the political scene during that era, showing us the intersection of Roman rule and the world Jesus lived in. At the end of the day, whether the Acts of Pilate are historically accurate or whether we know the precise appearance of Jesus Christ isn't what matters most. What really touches the heart of our faith is the deeper, more profound hope we share as believers, the promise that one day all those baptized into Christ will encounter his presence in the heavenly sanctuary. This isn't about the physical details of what he looked like, but rather the essence of who he is and the unwavering promises he has given us. And isn't that what it's all about? The relationship we cultivate with him here and now prepares us for that eternal fellowship. The mystery of what he looked like becomes secondary to the overwhelming certainty that we will see him as he truly is when we enter his presence, beyond the veil of this world. If you've made it this far, thank you for joining us on this exploration. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think the Acts of Pilate are genuine, or perhaps just an intriguing piece of early Christian storytelling? Let us know in the comments and stay tuned for more fascinating discussions. Until next time, take care and be blessed.